Alright guys, so at Sony's Pre-TGS conference, Square Enix dropped a new trailer on us. Before we dive into it, I'm going to warn you that I'll be talking about Big Hero 6 spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, you should probably click away if you don't want to get spoiled. This trailer starts with some text we've seen before, and then we cut to the Golden Gate lookalike bridge from San Francisco. After zooming in, we can see a new type of Heartless. These Heartless clearly have some similarities to Baymax, and they look gorgeous. Sora, Donald and Goofy run towards the Heartless, and we get a look at Sora's Keyblade from this world. We're not going to analyze it just yet, as we'll get a clearer look a bit later in the trailer. Before reaching the black smoke and the Heartless in it, Gogo flies towards Sora, so he has to get out of the way. Stopping right here gives us a nice view of some of the Keyblade. The orange and purple parts looks like Baymax's armor, and the smiley is the face from Hero's first fighting bot in the movie. Continuing again, Baymax with Hero on his back flies towards Sora and his friends. After a short introduction, Hero asks Sora if he wants to fight with them to defeat the Heartless. It might just be me, but I think it's weird how Hero and Baymax just casually talks to Sora, while Gogo is lying behind them, unconscious. Of the people from the Big Hero 6 team so far, everybody's been in their suit, meaning the plot is set after the first film. We knew as much from Nomura, and it's also obvious since Hero actually refers to the team as Big Hero 6, which he never did in the movie. The trailer cuts to nighttime where Gogo is chased by what kind of look like the microbots from the movie, except these are bigger, cubic and glowing. The city looks really great at night. Given that we've seen this world both in night and day, makes me curious if we'll see a day-night cycle. I doubt it's going to happen, but we have seen day and night versions of a world before, in Mount Olympus. In the next short clip, Wasabi is dodging the bots. They really are a lot larger than the microbots in the film. Getting this up-close view of the bots, do you recognize them? The bots have the exact same patterns as the bug blocks from Recoded. Honey Lemon is also dodging the bots, but this time they are glowing red. At this frame we get a pretty good look at the bots. From Nomura and his artwork we know that we're going to fight the corrupted Baymax that was left behind at the end of the movie. My theory is that all of the microbots that were sucked into the portal as well also got corrupted to what we're seeing now. The evil Baymax can probably control them. Continuing, we see that Freddy is also in trouble and Hero is working on a computer, which is pretty impressive with those giant gloves he's wearing. After this, we see Sora, Donald, Goofy and Baymax taking a stand against some unknown enemy. Notice how Sora is wearing some kind of glasses. He didn't wear those at the beginning of the trailer, and my guess is that they're probably this world's outfit, but instead of being a creation of Donald's magic, they're probably given to us by Hero. The trailer cuts again, this time to Monstropolis, where Randall is sneaking up on Sora and friends. He doesn't really say anything important, and then we're taken to Kingdom of Corona, where Malusia's nobody type can be seen. They look really cool. There's a bit of interaction between Flynn and Sora, but it doesn't seem to hold any significance to the plot. Another cut and we're back in Monstropolis, where young Xehanort surprises Sora and gang. There's been a clear improvement to young Xehanort's model. He actually looks young now, unlike the previous models we saw of him. It's nice to see that the models are still getting work done. One interesting thing I noticed is that behind Sora and the gang is something called Verum Rex, made by Square Enix. That's pretty meta, and I wonder if it means something. Here we can get a pretty close look at Sora's new Keyblade. It kind of looks like a sword, and it's pretty dope. On the command deck we can see that the name of the Keyblade transformation is called Nano Arms. Since the Keyblade has a portion that looks like the bots we discussed earlier, we can conclude that they're probably called nanobots instead of microbots from the movie. It's a weird name given that nanobots are bigger than microbots, and since nano and micro are SI prefixes where nano is smaller than micro. Looking at the very first image of this sequence, we can see the Keyblade transformation name on the command deck is transparent, meaning that the transformation has probably just been activated. What I find a bit odd is that if it's a Keyblade transformation, why doesn't it stay transformed? The Keyblade transforms into something that reminds me of Ventus's Keyblade transformation, but then it turns back into a Keyblade again. I'm not sure what to make of this. Looking further at the command deck, we see a microbot looking kind of evil, which could support the theory about the microbots being corrupted in the portal, just like Baymax. Moving your eyes to the right side of the screen, you'll notice that Baymax is the only party member we've got. Another interesting thing to note is that Sora has a huge MP bar, so it's probably a late game world. A little later we see Sora fighting a boss that looks like the one on Mount Olympus. He's using the Nano Arms Keyblade transformation, and in there he uses attacks that look a lot like Hyper Hammers and Magic Launcher's finishers. Maybe the Nano Arms transformation pieces together various attacks from other transformations as its attacks. The next scene sees Sora up against a big enemy that reminds me of the Minotaur Heartless from Hercules' world. Against the enemy, Sora uses an attack that closely resembles an attack from the Drill Punch transformation. This further suggests that the Nano Arms transformation is an amalgamation of various transformations. Looking away from the enemy, we observe that we're on top of a building. The lighting looks a bit flat on the surrounding buildings, but that'll probably get changed before the game is released. What I want to know is if we can jump out from the roof and just dive between the buildings. That would be epic. Note that the HUD has changed to include the glasses on Sora. In this scene it's nighttime again and we get to see a new shotlock that looks so freaking cool. The shotlock appears to be based off of the nanobots. Here the trailer changes quite a bit and we get a look at the gummy ship portion of the game. The first thing shown are some blueprints of gummy ships. All of them look really good and they push what I thought would be possible to do when building gummy ships. Talking about building gummy ships, it is possible that we can't actually build our own ships, but only use blueprints and then maybe customize them. We're in the gummy ship now. We got 3 bars to the right: weapon, HP and boost. To the right of the weapon bar we have an image that is likely to represent a weapon we've chosen. At the bottom left we have a minimap, which makes me believe there might be a more open world system. Why else would you need a minimap? Above the minimap can be seen a marker pointing towards a Heartless that looks to be too high of a level for the player. This is a very open world aspect too. In the top right corner we have a level. It's going to be interesting to see if the levels reset every time we fly the gummy ship or if we can actually level up the ship. One thing that might speak against open world is that the money is placed in a fashion that reminds us of the previous games, which were linear. My guess is that there is an open world like aspect when it comes to traveling between worlds, and then we have some extra gummy ship missions and challenges we can complete if we want to get further upgrades to our ship. Here we see something that looks like a constellation. If I'm right in my theory about open worldedness, then constellations might be some kind of collectibles. In the next scene there is some kind of boss battle going on. The HUD has changed a lot. In the lower right corner the weapons logo has changed, suggesting another weapon has been chosen. In the upper left corner we have a box that kind of resembles the one we had in Kingdom Hearts 2 gummy ship missions. The box keeps track of your rank, score, time and how many Heartless has been defeated. The minimap is gone, which could mean that this is one of the gummy ship missions or challenges that I talked about. While flying here, it seems like the player has a lot of control as to where to fly. This again backs up the open world like gummy ship theory. The gummy ship destroys some rocks and the weapons logo has changed once more. The trailer cuts and we're in one of the hypothesized missions again, this time taking out what appears to be some kind of space castle. The weapons logo has been changed again to some kind of fancy looking cannon. The gummy ship section is now over and we see Vanitas talking at a place that looks a lot like the Keyblade graveyard. With the cliffs it could also be Mount Olympus, but I doubt it. Vanitas has the pleasure of Xemnas' company while he monologues. Vanitas' words are as follows: "Only when your hopes have been broken by battle upon battle can the key to Kingdom Hearts be claimed." Real nice fella that one. No doubt he's talking about forging the Keyblade by making the 7 lights and 13 darknesses clash. The scene cuts to the chessboard between young Ericus and Xehanort. The only remaining white chess piece is the one with the crown, representing Sora. The gold chess pieces are Master Xehanort, Xemnas, Ansem, young Xehanort, Luxord, Sayax, Vanitas, Marluxia and Laxine. There is one extra gold chess piece to the left, but it doesn't seem to be important. It doesn't look too good for our boy Sora. Another cut and we see Mickey and Riku staring at each other. Riku has had a makeover since last time, most notably in regards to his hair. This next scene is pretty interesting. It's Sora picking up Master's Defender. We've seen this footage before at the reveal of Kingdom Hearts 3 back in 2013, but back then this was only a teaser and not actually canon. Seeing as it's here now, it is canon that Sora gets Master's Defender, or at least just holds it. Since Sora is back at Destiny Islands, it might mean we get to explore Destiny Islands in all its HD glory. After this scene we see Loxod and Laxine. I don't think anything's been changed about their models. Here somebody is holding two pictures of the Twilight Town gang, the real picture and the digital one with Roxas. The pictures haven't just been taken from Kingdom Hearts 2, so that image of Roxas is the first glimpse of him we have. Ansem looks to be in Twilight Town still. Good for him. The same can be said about Sigma. This clip has made a lot of ruckus on the internet. Some people are saying that it's Xian that has been nodded, and I have to agree. The only two other obvious candidates would be Aqua or Young Xehanort. But why then go through the trouble of hiding the face? We've already seen them. It being Xian also perfectly fits into what Young Xehanort was doing in the Toy Story world, researching how hearts connect in that world. In the Toy Story trailer, Young Xehanort also mentions how they needed darkness. As I see it, everything points to it being Xian, but if that isn't enough, look at the way the hair falls, and then look at this picture. Does it look familiar? Anyway, here we see Vanitas sitting in what appears to be the land of departure, just looking from the lighting side of things. Furthermore, if we look at the background and compare it to this image, all doubt evaporates. If Vanitas is indeed sitting in the land of departure where Ventus was left, one has to ask if it is Vanitas sitting there, or the fusion of Ventus and Vanitas. We cut to Sora, Donald and Mickey standing at what I can only assume is the Keyblade graveyard. At first it doesn't appear like anything else is there, but looking closely between Sora's shoes, we can see something that most definitely looks like Master Xehanort walking away or towards the trio. In the very last scene we see an angry nodded Aqua. Notice how her arms and legs have turned blue and her hands are red. That's pretty creepy. She's holding the Keyblade we saw her pick up in the Frozen trailer. And that's it. At last we're through the trailer. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.